This content was created purely for entertainment and informational purposes. The creators of this vlog do not endorse drinking and driving, debauchery, underage drinking, public intoxication, speeding, street racing or any other form of delinquency. I'm just a guy, with a drink, talking about cars. Please don't take this too seriously.
They say if you know you have a problem, you need to admit it, and that's the first step. Looking at my Hot Wheels, I probably have a problem. Back once again, it's your boy, the Killer Bee, the Fat Man, the Africanized Honeybee, the @05 Car Guy, the Car Guy Blog 05 at gmail.com guy. The word zero, ZERO, the number 5, fifth, the word car, CAR. @05car on Instagram, @05car on Twitter, @05car on Facebook. So, I'm here today without my diabolical co-host, the infamous May Flowers. She is out somewhere running a freaking marathon. And I mean that quite literally. Or actually, I guess I have, but whatever. So, a little reset. Summer 2020. I leave my employer of 15 years with a voluntary buyout. I take my separation pay and my 2 years of healthcare coverage at the subsidized rate, and I walk. I sell my house. I put everything in storage. I give away all my furniture to Goodwill, and I move into my mother's basement. I'm with my mom 6 months. I take a 3-course semester at the same university that I got my MBA from and added a graduate marketing certificate. I floated my resume and got a job at a community college as a sort of a economic workforce development staff member. I'm not an instructor. I help coordinate vocational training for local industries, I guess is the best way to put it. That was June of 2021. December 2021, I close on a new house. It's smaller and more expensive because the economy. But I'm happy to be out of my mother's basement and into my new house. And as I'm moving stuff in, I'm going to the storage unit and retrieving things. And I realized that in the 6 months I was with my mother, I bought a whole bunch more Hot Wheels cars and a couple of more 1/18 scale die cast. And living in a smaller house now, it's come to my understanding that my collection is completely out of control, especially when you add in the 1/32 scale slot cars, of which I have a bunch, and I still have my Tyco HO scale slot car collection, even though I did sell that down quite a bit before I sold my house. Point is, I got a lot of toys in this house, and it's like, oh my God, somebody needs to have an intervention, or I need to sell some of this shit. And I don't want to sell anything because I like it, but I was really counting on buying a bigger house this time, one that had a basement where I could set up all my slot cars and whatnot. And unfortunately, because of the economy and the way the housing market just exploded, that just wasn't reality. It was not feasible for me to buy a larger house with the amount of money I had available and the way prices were climbing. I could have got a really old crap house, but I've owned 2 houses that were built in the 60s. The thing about owning an older house is you got to have some money in reserve because there are things that are going to have to be repaired and replaced. And I was not prepared to do that this time around because, oh, by the way, my new job pays about 40% less than my old job. And I'm okay with that because I changed industries. I gave up engineering. I walked away from it. And moving into higher education, it's a different kind of ball game, and I understand that. There are some things I'm getting back on the other side because I'm now a government employee, and I have a much better pension than what I would have had at my other job. So you give some things up to get some things back. I'm not worried about the month-to-month cash outlay so much as the fact that I don't have the extra money to do some of the things that I would have otherwise done, like buy a bigger house with a basement and have space to have all my toys out and work on them. I have an associate in Illinois. He's a gynecologist. He has a big house. He's got a swimming pool. But in his basement, he's got a room that just has his model train layout. And when I say model train layout, I mean it takes up the whole room to the point where he's got an area where he has to raise the track so he can walk under it and get to the middle of the display. That kind of deal. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I hope to have something similar someday. But that day will not be anytime within the next few years. And I'm okay with that for now. I figure I've got one more house purchase in me. I'm 47, maybe two, but my plan is not to be in this house more than about 4 or 5 years, just long enough to build some equity and let the market stabilize a little bit. And then I'm trying to get out of this one and into something a little bit larger. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, I have way too many toy cars, way too many. And God forbid I get a new girlfriend or a wife kind of person. She's going to have a problem with all my toy cars the same way I'm going to have a problem if she's got 3 closets full of shoes. So maybe I'm destined to stay single. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, that's just a quick update. I forgot to mention, I'm back in grad school again. I'm getting a master's degree in education, and I'm taking 9 hours a semester. So with all that going on, my recording schedule is going to be very erratic, and I will be dropping new content here and there. Actually, recording is not the biggest problem. Editing is the problem, because right now I'm not in a space where I can hire a third-party editor to do my editing for me. I have to do it all myself, which means I've got to work it around my academic commitments and my work commitments and my other social life stuff commitments, things that I still have to do even though we're still in the middle of a pandemic and I have very little face-to-face interaction with other human beings, at least that doesn't involve wearing a mask. But I still have things that I have to do that are not school or work related to satisfy other people in my life. And therefore, editing and recording content becomes like a distant fourth place. And I'll get to it when I get to it. There will be some new releases on the YouTube because I already recorded that content and have it queued up. I will drop some stuff to the Anchor channel when I get an opportunity, like this piece, for instance. And there are some other YouTube content that I need to convert to audio for Anchor, and I will get around to that as soon as I can. Those I have to go back and do some additional editing to them because they're designed for video, and when you don't have that video content there, you can't have dead air on a podcast. As soon as I can get those up and uploaded, I will get them on there. And again, thank you everybody for listening. I noticed that my subscriber count is still growing slowly but surely, despite the fact that I have not been doing a lot of advertising and I've not been doing a lot of social media interaction of late. That means people are finding my content organically, and some of them seem to like it, and that's a good thing. So I thank you all for listening and watching, and I'll be back soon.